got a question for RL? They're trying to get some answers, baby. Now we're getting real. Yeah, get down. Yeah, you don't feel good now. Real good.
Welcome, everyone. Hold on. I got to click the button. Click this, click that. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, global happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner. I'm going to throw in Oracle, but most importantly, student. Oh, and if you're listening on YouTube, it says topic to be announced. No, the topic is today is about the truth about anger. And also we're going to talk about the blame game. Usually the show is heard at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, but yours truly, moi, woke up after 9 o'clock today, and this is going to be part of the show. So woke up after 9 o'clock. I haven't awakened after 9 a.m. in, I'm not going to say decades, but it's been such a long time. And I have probably 3 reasons why it happened, but I'm not going to attach a story as to why. The truth is, this show is supposed to be live at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's a revelation right there. Attaching a story to a reason why I'm feeling an emotion is just not the truth. But anyway, let me just brief introduction. Lot of new followers, not a lot of new people finding me organically. So welcome to my world. Happiness specialist. Who the hell does she think she is? Thank you. You're absolutely right. Let me just give you a brief introduction. When I say happiness, let me be very clear. I'm not talking about something happens and now I'm happy. This happiness that I mention is a personal vibration of contentment. The ability to vibrate an energy of contentment all the time, regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. That is a practice. Happiness, inner peace, contentment is a practice skill. And the question becomes, what do you practice? Well, thank you for asking. I've been studying, researching this thing called happiness for over 45 years. And I shared that when I was younger, when you blow the candles out on your birthday cake and you make a wish, I only wished for 2 things. I wanted to live to my potential, and I wanted to be happy. And so this search, this delusional search that happiness exists. And happiness is an energy. Contentment is an energy. And you can feel the difference. You can feel in your own body. You can feel the energy shifting. And I'm going to say high vibration. And in fact, I should have had it with me, but you can Google David Hawkins. Dr. David Hawkins is one of my foundational teachers. Dr. David Hawkins, Hawkins, and he charts it's the map of consciousness and the different levels of the emotions that we name or we label. From grief, I think the first one starts with shame, grief, anger, and then it goes to neutrality, love, acceptance. I think there's about 16 of them, but I could be wrong. That's what happens when you wake up after 9 o'clock. Anyway, yeah. So the different emotions, the different feelings that. Let me just use myself as an example. I've been programmed to believe that if I'm feeling like this, my ego can attach a label to it in a minute. I remember when I was living in the middle of the forest about 5 years when I lived in Oregon, one of the labels I would attach, one of the stories I would have attached is, I'm lonely. Living in the middle of the forest, I moved to Oregon all by myself, left everybody behind. I'm lonely. That is a reoccurring story. Lonely. But what is there? But there's a vibration to that. There's a vibration. Lonely, sad, depressed, that feeling. Well, this is a new day, honey, and all of the emotions, all of my emotions, all of my feelings, I refuse. Scratch that. I practice refusing to attach a label to it. And as a matter of fact, what's the difference between the vibration of sadness and loneliness? So if you are sincere, and if you are committed, scratch the sincere, if you want to commit, if you want to prioritize that vibration, a personal energy of contentment, that all the time, that's a practice. And yes, it can be accomplished. I'm not saying I haven't mastered 100%, but I definitely am aware that when my ego, my mind says, "Oh, you're feeling this way because," and in fact, one of my I'm gonna use it as an excuse. One of the excuses that I used this morning, scratch that my ego used this morning, getting up after 9 o'clock, waking up after 9 o'clock. I had a horrible dream last night. It was terrible. And I usually don't have that terrible dreams. And that's a label. It was a disturbing dream, very disturbing. And I remember waking up and just, do I need to just get up? But no. So obviously I needed more sleep, and I got more sleep, and that's hence the show coming on live at 10 o'clock. But the story behind it, oh, I ate too much yesterday. My family celebrated Thanksgiving. One of the relatives couldn't make it on Thanksgiving Day, had to work, so we got together a week before. And I'm telling you, I love the Saturday Thanksgiving. I digress for a second. I love a Saturday Thanksgiving. Wow. It's just, it's a different day, it's a different vibe, it's a different feel. And that's part of the practice, is this programming to celebrate a day on the same day every year. Masses of people do the same thing on the same day. What a program. But I also digress again. Let me just get back to with the short introduction. Google the 5 most common regrets of the dying. It is a study done by a hospice nurse. The 5 most common regrets of the dying. Not one of the regrets. This was a study done with people that had days, weeks, months left to live. And this and miraculously, nothing on this list had anything to do with how much money is in the bank or how many accomplishments. Shout out to Tom Brady, who's still dissatisfied with 7 Super Bowl rings. Shout out to Michael Jordan, who's still dissatisfied with 6 NBA championships. None of these achievements, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes here. Oh, by the way, if you want to look at me live, look at me. If you want to watch the show live, I'm on my YouTube channel, Rebecca Norrington. And if you're listening on New Vibe, welcome to the show. Thank you for hanging in with me, especially these people were emailing me, isn't the show at 9 a.m.? No, today it's at 10 a.m. because she got up after 9. Boy, it's a scramble to get a show together. And if you're watching me on YouTube, yes, I woke up like this, washed my face, brushed my teeth, and put on some lip gloss, and that's it. Didn't even comb my hair. Not that I can comb it anyway. I digress. Let me go. And if you want to call in live, the number to call in is area code 646 564 9619. Again, area code 646 564 9619. If you want to speak with me live, vibe. Back to the study. The 5 most common regrets of the dying. And I don't know about you, but this is powerful shit. Powerful. These people are dying, and they are sharing with them their biggest regrets. And it wasn't just 5 people. It was, I don't know, hundreds of people. Don't quote me on that, but a lot of people said, what are your top 5 biggest regrets? And I'm just sharing. I'm 68, soon to be 69. I got this down. Don't I'm not going to get excited over millions of dollars. It's not going to move my needle. Believe it or not, it's not at this stage. Number one, I wish I would have pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me. That's not the first regret. Number two, I wish I didn't work so hard. Number three, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. Number four, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. And I always throw out there that, sometimes people come and people go when it's time. Sometimes we outgrow people. Nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with you. It's very difficult. I saw my nephew yesterday, and listen, he's 13. There are some things we can hang out with, but I'm not going to be a 13-year-old. There is a totally different mindset. 68 and 13. I mean, we can be compatible for a quick minute playing speed or gin rummy, but come on now. And then the fifth regret is I wish I would have been happier. Can you imagine getting to the end of the you're on your close to your deathbed? I wish I would have been happier. And so that's where I come in. This happiness, this energy of contentment. For me, it is a priority. It is a commitment, ongoing. It is never ending. And the awareness is the work, and also the practice. Just the last thing before I get into the topic, thank you for your patience. I'm holding up my latest book. It's called Programmed for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. You can find it on Amazon, Lulu, and Barnes & Noble, but Programmed for Unhappiness. In this book, I list 56. And do you know, within the last couple of months, I found another programmed behavior. So in actuality, 57 programmed behaviors that have been proven to subtract from happiness, contentment. And it is practice. And what do you practice? You practice eliminating these program behaviors one by one. And one of them is, how about that for a segue to the show? One of them is blaming. I call it the blame game. And if you're halfway awake, you don't even have to be fully awake. If you're halfway awake, if you're if you're just slightly awake, you can agree that look out into the world. It is blame for everything, pointing the finger outward. And when I said I woke up late today, woke up after 9 o'clock, I could blame the bad dream. I can blame the 2 plates of food that I ate, including, and I don't eat dairy, but damn it, every Thanksgiving, I do eat macaroni and cheese. I mean, homemade macaroni and cheese. It doesn't get any better. Oh God. I could blame everything. Waking up at that in the middle of the night, 2 hours wide awake. I could blame anything. But no, the truth is I wasn't supposed to do this show until 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If it's happening, it's supposed to be happening. And it really and the ego gets so mad. The mind gets so topsy-turvy. Put a story to it as to why. Attach a story. And I'm not attaching stories anymore. And I'm telling you, freedom is right around the corner when you let go of those stories, when you let go of whatever comes after that word, because. I'm angry because. That's just another program. And let me just, this is in the book, but I just want to share this really quickly. The blame game people play. It's not your circumstances. It's not the relationship you do or you don't have. It's not who won the election or the price of gas or the weather. It's not your health. And that goes for both sides. One side will say they're depressed and they're angry because a person won, and then one side will say, "Oh, I'm elated. I feel so much better. Oh, because that other person won." So it's not about the side. Both sides are doing it, giving a reason as to their emotions. And all of the emotions and all of the reasons are external. And I'm here to tell you this is an internal game experience. So it's not the relationship you do or do not have. It's not who will win the election or the price of gas or the weather. It's not your health. If you listen to the show, the last couple of months I've been having this tightness in my chest, and at the end of December, I went to a cardiologist on Friday. First time going to a cardiologist, and so they scheduled 2 tests for me at the end of December. December 26th, I think, and December 30th. And I'm scratching my head. I said, wait a minute. I'm getting tightness in my chest almost every day. It doesn't hurt. It just feels tight. In maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes it lasts, and then it goes away. And it's not painful, but it is. I stay still. I'm still when it's happening. I'm not running around. It just makes me pause. Shout out to Dame Dash. Pause. And I, on Friday, I said, "Well, wait a minute. At the end of December, I could kick the bucket before then." And the doctor assured me, and the nurse assured me that if they thought it was something that I needed to get in earlier, I would be getting tested earlier. And I just let that go. I'm in the moment. I'm in the present moment. And quite frankly, if I kick the bucket before the before the test results, before I'm tested at the end of the month, so be it. I'm in the moment. I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to add worry or concern. No, but that's a practice, my dear audience. That's a practice because the only reason why people worry, which is a program behavior, the only reason why people worry is lack of trust. You can't trust and worry at the same time. Which one are you going to choose? Okay, back to the blame game. Where did I leave off? It's not your health or the aches and pains in life. It's definitely not money. I know the program is, oh, come on, I see the gurus, 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, you know, bring it up to 100 million. Well, none of that. I don't care if it's 500 million, $1 billion in the bank. That has nothing to do with how content you can how content you are. How the energy of contentment has nothing to do with how much money you have in the bank. Shout out to Will Smith. Okay, let's see. And he's the one that said it in the GQ magazine, November 2021. I cite it all the time. He says, I have everything: money, fame, connections all over the world, but I'm not happy. And that's what I'm talking about here. When I mentioned Tom Brady or Michael Jordan, I'm not saying, well, they're happier than I'm happy, but to not have a level of to not be in a state of satisfaction after all of your accomplishments and breaking records. Anyone out there that has accomplished anything, and I don't care what it is, whether you finished a photograph, whether you finished a painting, whether you've landscaped a garden, that satisfaction lasts for a moment. I'm talking about lasting contentment, maintaining the energy of contentment, maintaining the vibration of peace. Okay, boy, can I get off I can get off a tangent. Let's see. It's definitely not money. It's not how you look or how much you weigh. It's not your children, it's not your parents. Your happiness, aka your vibration of peace and contentment, depends on what you practice on a daily basis. Want to feel different during any challenging moment? You can. Look in the mirror and choose a different perspective. And that's another thing that's not taught. Finding one perspective. The ego will only lock in on one perspective. If you are consciously aware, if you are aware, self-aware, you know that the ego will only give you one perspective. One. That's limiting. That's not freedom. That's being a slave to the mind. Okay, and look in the mirror and choose a different perspective. Elevate your consciousness, expand your consciousness, grow. Be different than you were last week, last month, last year. And I'm talking about not last year. How about last week? How are you different than last week? How are you different than 2 weeks ago? And I don't want any general statement. I want something specific. Because when you're paying attention and you're conscious to your and you practice transcending, which is the word of the day, word of the decade, transcending the ego, transcending the mind, transcending that critical voice in your head that is always coming up with a story and always coming up with different thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are not your stories. I was looking at some post and you can control your thoughts. No, you can't. Well, I haven't met anybody that can control their thoughts. I don't think positive thoughts all the time. Hell no. So this program of this belief that you are your thoughts and you're your stories, it's just not true. You're more than that. And you're more, that's your human side. You're human thoughts, stories. But you're more than this human entity, your conscious energy. You know who you are. Come on, start claiming it. Your growth, in choosing a perspective, and your level of consciousness will dictate how much peace and happiness you're experiencing. Now, let's get to today's topic. After an hour of introduction, I was driving yesterday, and this person in front of me was honking. I mean, the honk was, I'm living in the city now. I'm not in a small town where nobody honks. Unless you've just moved into the small city, Lord, small city. It was a small town, 24,000 people. And I remember visiting Portland. This was years ago, at least 5 years ago. I don't know how it is now. But I remember driving in Portland and nobody honked the horn. It's something that I noticed right away. And so I've continued that practice unless I'm in imminent danger. I'm not honking my horn. If I'm behind someone and they don't see that their light is turned green for the last 3 minutes, I'm just patiently waiting. Just waiting. So this driver in front of me honked the horn, and you can tell when somebody honks the horn, when it's a little tap, 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 or a well, that kind of honk. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. That kind of honk, that long laying on the horn, that means that whoever's driving is irritated, annoyed, angry, throwing whatever word label you want. But it's anger. And the anger the person will say, I'm angry because the person in front of me isn't watching where they're going, or millions of excuses why people hold on to the horn. And you know what that tells? That shows me a lot about you. Scratch that. A lot about the person driving. Pay attention. It's the simple things. It's the simple things that annoy and annoy, irritate, and anger. But it's not because of what the mind will have you believe. It's just that at that time, because we are human here, the human experiences a level of all different types of feelings from up to down. I'm not going to label it up, down, sideways. And my mind will give me a story and try to convince. When I say me, I'm talking about the human me. Try to convince me that this is the reason why. I contend in all humbleness, humble. Let's see, do I know how to spell humble? Humble. Yes, I do. Humble. In all humbleness, that person was angry before anybody on the road cut them off. That person is irritated before they walk into the bank and gets or calls customer service. I'm speaking of experience. This dimension is a place to scratch that. This in this dimension is a place of experience. I'm here to experience. I'm here to experience all of what life has to offer without a judgment of good and bad. Now, I know I get a lot of pushback on this. Oh, this is good. This is bad. Well, I'm not going to judge it, because all judgment subtracts from your happiness. And when I say happiness specialist, I'm on it. Contentment. So the blame comes in, and anger, and I contend that when you're arguing with someone or you are angry with someone, it has nothing to do with the other person. And in fact, if you're watching me on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, I'm live on YouTube, Rebecca Norrington, I'm holding up a mirror. It's a handmade mirror. Isn't that nice? Beautifully painted, handmade mirror. And that's the answer. That's where your power is. When you get, and I mean get it, that all of these circumstances have nothing to do with your feelings and your emotions, have nothing to do with your stories, have everything to do with what you practice and what you believe. Now, if you believe that, oh no, I was fine before I laid on the horn for 30 seconds. Okay. I'm not here to try. Oh, hold on, guest. Hold on, guest. Choose a guest. Oh, okay, I'm pushing the number. Let's see. Hold on. Choose a guest. One person here. Oh, they must have disappeared. Guest waiting. I'm trying to pull you up. Go out and try it again if you can, because for some reason I'm not able to pull you up. Guest waiting. Let's see. Let's check this out. Love today's topic. Thank you, A Dose of Reveal. Let me get back to, I'm trying to pull you up here, but it says it shows 0 guests showing. So go out and come back, and I promise to bring you up, because I love talking about this anger. So back to the anger. So let me just back up just a little bit. This attaching a story to an emotion as to why, and that can go to an emotion of, oh, love, that the beginning stages when you meet somebody, oh, woo-wee, and you're all on cloud 9. Oh, I love him, I love her, I love them all, they can do no wrong. Oh, in that euphoric state. Well, that euphoric state has nothing to do with them either. It's just time for you to feel that euphoric state. Let's get back to anger. See, one of the program behaviors that the masses do I call everybody herd animals? I'm not going to call anybody a herd animal. No, I'm not going to do that. The masses, how's that? That's not, you know, what I usually say is civilians. What the civilians will do is attach a story to their emotions 98% of the time, because that's what we were all taught. I know I was taught. There's a reason for this emotion. I gotta find the reason. When you go to what source do you go to give you a reason? Let me try to push this one button again. No, I still don't. I can't pull anybody up here. Let's see. Guest waiting. I'm pushing the button and it goes to choose a guest and it says 0. Let's see. Maybe if I click on that. Nope. Okay. Can't. No, it's not coming up. I don't know if it's well, I don't know. One thing she isn't is technical at all. Okay. How can you analyze something with only one perspective? How can you come up to a conclusion unless it's a scientific conclusion? How can you come up with an answer with just one perspective? And the mind, the ego, the side only offers one. Do you see the enslavement? Do you see how confining that is? In fact, hold on, where is this? Where is this? Oh, she's so disorganized. Oh, okay. This is just a really quick I found this online and I love this. It came in my Instagram feed. To anyone I offended this year, shout out to, how many of you believe you can be offended? You can have your feelings hurt. Yes, I know, but that's a program. To anybody I offended this year, work on yourself so I don't have to do it again in 2025. I love this comic. To anybody, or this post, to anybody I offended this year, work on yourself so I don't have to do it again in 2025. Don't tell me I offended you. Don't tell me I hurt your feelings. I don't have that much power. But if you're programmed, you believe, you point your finger out. And it's the same with anger. These people that are angry, I don't care. When I say these people, I'm talking about globally. These people that are angry and pointing outside to why, pointing their finger as to why they're angry is just not, they just haven't got to a level of awareness. That's it. Civilians, I call them, with love. Civilians just haven't gotten to a point of awareness. How about this? I'm going to give all of you a homework assignment. You can do it or you can't do it. I mean, or you don't do it. Whatever you feel inspired to. But if you really are serious and committed to vibrating an energy of contentment, practice this. Practice this. And happiness, contentment is a practice. Practice this one. And you know, after all of that lead up, I forgot I was going to say, practice being aware. Oh, practice being aware of the stories that the ego will tell you, will say constant. And let me just say, I told my ego 3 days ago, I told my mind 3 days ago, I'm done. I'm done listening to you. I'm done giving you any focus. It talk about clouds passing. This is from Moji, and if you don't know who Moji is, Mooji, I highly recommend you search him on YouTube and listen to some of his videos and some of his teachings. Moji says that we're the sky, and all the thoughts and the stories are just clouds passing by. But we are the sky. When I say we are more, we're more. So who are you identifying with at any moment? The sky or the clouds that are transit, that just come and go? You are not coming and going. You are eternal. You are eternal consciousness, awareness, spirits, whatever. You are eternal. These human bodies will go. These human bodies will die, but you are eternal. That's who you really are. So who are you identifying with? I'm taking off this human coat. I'm taking off this human gear. No, I'm done. At least that's the practice. That's the practice. So backing up to getting angry, the world pointing the finger. Let me stick to the United States. It is just the people online that are just spewing this hate and this disdain, and this is global. Scratch the U.S. Global hate and disdain for a circumstance, hate and disdain for a person or people or a group of people, hate and disdain. All that is showing who you are internally. You can only perceive what you are already internally. Your perception comes from within. Your conclusion for this world, this troubled world, comes from you're troubled. Angry world, you're angry. This is empowering. This anger, it's just time. What happens when the volcano erupts? I mean, I'm sure, of course, there's a scientific reason, but it's just time for the volcano to erupt. It's time. I get it, weather conditions, uh, all of that. But can we stick to letting the emotions come out, feel the emotions, but don't identify with them, or not, and scratch that. Practice not identifying with them. Practice just letting them flow through, flow back. Yesterday was a perfect example of, I'm telling you, in the morning, there was an openness, an elation, all of that. And then in the afternoon, it was a totally different state. And in the evening, it was also a totally different state. I feel differently now. I'm not going to say why. I'm not going to use the word because. Using the word because is, let me just ask, who is the author of the statement after the word because? How do you know that what the mind says and what the ego says is the truth after the word because? Oh, I'm feeling this way because they didn't call me, they didn't text me. This happened out. This happened. This is happening. And I'm feeling this way because I'm worried. Well, you're worried. That just means let's start practicing trust more. Everything is unfolding in order. Everything is unfolding exactly the way it's supposed to. You can't stop it. You can't slow it down. You can't prevent it from happening. You can't speed it up. Can you practice enjoying the ride? Can you practice living in the present moment? And when you do have that energy, scratch, when I do have that energy of anger, I can feel it. I say that it is it's time for hibernation. It's just time to hibernate and be quiet and be alone and stare at the wall or watch TV. Watching television for me is is calming, entertaining and calming. And I get watching TV. What a waste of time. Don't watch it. We are as different as our fingerprints. And what is a relaxing state to you, or what is a calm state for you, may not be a calm state for your neighbor. Are you able to practice acceptance? And let me just back up. So practice acceptance of these people that are angry. Yeah, I accept all of these people that come up with these stories as to why they're angry. But I know that their stories are just that, stories. And it's easy to blame others, and it's easy to blame your circumstances, and it's easy to point the finger out. It's because, huh, well, you can do it all you want, but the truth is, it's just time for you to feel whatever emotion you're feeling. Doesn't that doesn't isn't that doesn't that feel like more freedom? And when I say freedom, let me be clear. The freedom, I wish I could pull somebody up on this noon vibe. Nope, nobody's coming up. The freedom, there is a different state of being when you practice peace in mind, when you practice surrender. And in fact, there was a really good post on Instagram. This gentleman was saying, I posted it on my Twitter. You can find my Twitter link. It's RL Norrington. And I posted it on Twitter yesterday. I believe I posted it on Facebook too, but on Twitter. Did I post it on Instagram? I may have posted it on Instagram. And this gentleman is saying, the more I practice surrendering, and that is a practice, the more I practice surrendering, and oh my goodness, I'm just going to botch this up, but he talks about the more freedom he experiences and letting go of thinking that I have anything to do with I have anything to do with what unfolds. This is a journey this is a ride, a roller coaster ride. Yes, it is. But it's just a ride. Do you want to experience more contentment or not? And what I found is most civilians aren't interested. Well, that's not normal. Your head is, oh, trust me, I've been insulted by the best of the best. I've been called toxic, selfish. I've contributed zero to the planet. What I've accomplished can't be measured. Therefore, I've accomplished nothing. I'm delusional. Absolutely none of those comments. It's like Teflon, Teflon in a frying pan slides right off, because none of those comments are personal. And especially when someone is angry or angry at me, I'm talking about if I'm driving and they're laying on the horn, and I'm the focus of the horn blowing. I know it's not me or my bad driving. I know that the person behind that blowing the horn is feeling a certain way, but is programmed to believe that it is someone else. The work isn't easy. The practice isn't easy. It's not easy, but if you are at a stage, and I'm in the fourth quarter here. Someone told me the other day, fourth quarter, but you never know if you're going to have overtime. That's true. Fourth quarter over here. And the people and the people that were studied in the 5 most common regrets of the dying, I mean, they're on their way out, meaning they know that they're dying. And I'm going to throw that out to you. You know that you're dying, and I'm not talking about in the future. You have say somebody says you have 30 more days to live. What would you do different? What would you do different? What would you be doing differently? And I contend, let's do that now. I contend, let's do that today. And this anger, I mean, it's almost comical. And that's another thing. Practice laughing, singing, dancing. Practice laughing. 5 seconds. I'm 5 seconds away from a laugh at any moment. 5 seconds. It could be, I don't care where my emotions take me. 5 seconds. If someone says something funny or I see something funny, I can snap out of it in a second. But my ego doesn't like that. My ego doesn't get fed with that. My ego isn't really can't stand that. And so the suffering comes from identifying with the mind, identifying with the ego. Let's get back to anger again. Hold on, let me take a drink of this Voss water, VOSS, the wetter, better water. I'm waiting for Voss to contact me so they can be a sponsor to the show. Hold on. Live, gulping water on air. Okay, back to the anger. There are a lot of angry people. But know that the anger and scratch angered, programmed angry people. There's a big difference. Programmed angry people, because if you notice, before any emotion, especially that emotion of anger, I'm going to label it anger today because that is the topic. If you notice that you go into a robotic state of behavior, anytime you act like what you've always acted like, instantly you just go into an, and speaking for myself, going into an instant state. You start thinking a different way, you start acting a certain way, but it's instant. I'm angry because you're programmed. All of that instant, automatic is a program. And I am a program buster, a program, let's expose it. I refuse. When I say I'm talking about the level of consciousness. I refuse, scratch that. I practice not being a slave to the emotions that come and go, especially anger. Now, admittedly, I do not have this mastered. Admittedly, that some days when the fuel tank is low, a call to customer service will just take me for a tailspin. But it's an awareness and it is practice, and it's also, and I know that it's not customer service. It's not. It's not the slow drivers. It's not the people out. It's not. It's internal. Practice. Your assignment is to practice. Oh, this is one of my favorite quotes. It's from Guy Finley, Guy Finley, Finley. Finley. You can Google him. He speaks. He's got books, and I actually met him a couple of times. But one of the quotes that I take away, because you can get something from you can get something from any teacher if you're open. Especially this hit me. Guy Finley says, "The feel is real, but the why is a lie. The feel is real, but the why is a lie." And that coincides with what Byron Katie teaches with the work. Asking, number one, is this story in my head true? And the second question is, can you be sure that it's true? So know that this anger that you're feeling, I'm feeling, comes and goes. That, not denying it. But the reason why I'm feeling that way, the answer is because it's time. Period. Mic drop. Anger has nothing to do with circumstances, has nothing to do with anything external, has nothing to do with the story. Anger. And so I can feel the emotion, the feeling of anger. And what I do know is that it's going to come and it's going to go. And I just surrender to it. Surrender to it. Okay, it's time to feel this way. But it's a practice. And it is ongoing. And part of, scratch that, not part of the practice. The practice is living consciously, being self-aware, knowing that this is a journey. This is a journey. And when you let go, and I really mean, my hands are up now, palms are up, let go. Ask the universe, ask God, ask source, how do I surrender? How do I surrender in the moment? How do I practice? Here we go. How do I practice surrendering in the moment? How do I practice surrendering in the moment? It's life-changing, my dear audience. It's life-changing. Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. You can find it on Amazon. And also in this book, not only do I list 56 program behaviors, but I also list 25 behaviors that are not programmed that you can practice in order to experience more contentment. It's a practice. It all depends on how committed you are to the practice. I'm gonna feel all kinds of emotions and anger, including anger, including all of that. But I'm going to witness. That's another part of the practice. Witness the feelings, witness the emotions, observe the feelings, observe the emotions. And I'm going to end with this. This was only supposed to be a show of 20 minutes. 20 minutes. One of the things that Moji, Mooji, find him on YouTube, highly recommend him. This man is just, you just listen to the way he talks, how he talks, his energy behind the talks. And I just found him this year. The contentment is just spewing through his pores. Not to say that he doesn't have human moments either. We all do. But the humanness is not where I'm going to live. One of the examples or analogies that Moji shares is, so there's, I'm not gonna use his example. I'm gonna use my example, and I've said it a few times. So you're at the theater, darlings. You're going to the theater and you're sitting in the audience, and on stage is a pack-filled drama story, ups and downs, happiness, sadness, drama coming off the rear end. And so you're watching this show, which is filled with drama, but you know it's on stage. You know it's not real. But it's entertaining. It's captivating. Oh, what's going to happen next? All of that. But you're in the audience. You're observing the show. You're witnessing the show. You are the witness. You are the observer. You're not the anger. You're not that. You're not the anger. You're not the drama of the show. You know, one of my favorite shows is Wicked. Oh, what a great musical. What a great show. It's got everything. Love, hate. It's got everything. I digress. So you're in the audience witnessing the show. But then there's another state. There's a third state. And that is when you go to a movie theater or theater, and the person that's in charge of the lights, the lighting on stage, that entity, the one that's in charge of the lights, is witnessing the entity that is witnessing what's on stage. Let me say that again, because it confused me. There's another level to live. There is another level to live from. Witnessing the entity that is witnessing what's on stage. Now, is that entity that is witnessing the witness that is witnessing what's on stage? Does that entity have any anger or emotions up and down, or is it just steady? All knowing, all present, all presence, all awareness. So that's the practice, is to identify with that. Now I'm smiling. And you are even going to get tons of benefits from just being in the audience, witnessing what's on stage. Getting to another level, practicing another level, maintaining and staying to the, this higher, lower, to another stage of witnessing the witnesser. Is it a witnesser? No, that's not a word. Oh, witnessing the entity that is witnessing what's going on stage. Now I think I could do a mic drop. Well, whew, what a great show. Know that it's just summing up this anger. It's not who you, it is a feeling, it's an emotion. It's a brief moment in what they call time. But attaching yourself and believing that you are that I don't have control. No, you don't need to control anger. You don't need, well, scratch that, because there is a civil way. I'm not going to just, there's okay, now I'm going way off, and I was supposed to end the show, but let me back up. My point is, the anger, the sadness, the elation, can we just practice witnessing all of that? Can you practice staying in a state of the witness? Your ego's going to cry, kick, scream, throw a temper tantrum. No, stay with me. You're me. We're together. We're one. No, ego. I'm done. And the mind, I'm done with you too. I hear the stories, I hear the thoughts, but I'm done. Freedom comes from knowing who you really are, and not being a slave to this human personhood. I'm going to mic drop twice. Mic drop. Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. She wakes up at night. When she wakes up early at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Follow me on Twitter, RL Norrington. Follow me on Instagram, which is Reality Spirituality. I'm on LinkedIn, and my YouTube channel. I'm getting more people subscribing. Thank you so much. Subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. And more videos. They're short videos, they're live videos. So I'm putting it together slowly but surely. Surely. Slowly and surely. And my website is RebeccaNorrington.com. First book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, is on Amazon. That was published in 2014. The latest book is called Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. And I have to say, it's my masterpiece. And in that book, I list 56 program behaviors and also 56 program behaviors that have been proven to subtract from your happiness, your contentment. And also in that book, I list 25 behaviors that add. Until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. Your conscious energy having a human experience. You're always evolving, always changing, always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be patient and be kind to yourself by accepting every moment, surrendering in every moment. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. That's a quote from Abraham. You cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. And I don't know about you, but this the priority is a energy of contentment for me. And yes, I'm not sitting back and just, oh, but the action is inspired action. Act on your inspired action. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, happiness specialist Rebecca L. Norrington. And remember, happiness, inner peace, contentment are all practice skills. And I promise you, I've been doing this shit for 45 years plus. The more you practice, the more peace you're going to find. The more you practice, the more your contentment you're going to experience in each moment. Pay attention. Focus on those program beliefs, those program behaviors. You're not a robot. Stop acting like it. Your practice is going to reflect what you experience. And your perspective reflects what your perspective can change. Your perspective, if you only have one perspective, that's a clue. You're in the ego, you're in the mind. So practice rising above, rising above. Have a conscious week. Oh, by the way, my son and I do a live show every Saturday morning at 9:15 on YouTube. It's called it's called, because I had to change for the algorithm. Oh, Lord. It's called What Happens When a Mom and Son Make Sense Out of Nonsense, plus more. I highly recommend that too. Have a conscious week. Thank you for listening. It says baby.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.